Hello. Chi. Hello. Hello. हॅलो, हॅलो, चेक, चेक, हॅलो, हॅलो, चेक, हॅलो.
हॅलो, हॅलो. Hello, hello, check, check.
Hello. Hello.
हाँ कनेक्ट हो गया देखिए आप। बोलिए जरा उधर से बोलिए सर, ये बताया
I'll check.
Hello.
हाँ थोड़ा उधर बोलिए ना, आवाज चेक करेंगे। आपका माइक बंद है क्या?
नहीं नहीं माइक।
Good morning, everyone. May I request everybody to please kindly settle down, and may I request Ms. Tanupriya, Ms. Shelly Singh, and Ms. Jyoti to please kindly hand over the bouquet to our respected dignitaries.
आप प्लीज एक बार चेक कर लीजिए ना, एक बार उसको हटाइए जो वीडियो चल रहा है, हम लोग वीडियो सुन पा रहे हैं, आपका देख पा रहे हैं, सुन पा रहे हैं। हाँ क्योंकि यहाँ से अगर उन्होंने बोलना है तो आपको सुनाई
And may I
देना चाहिए ना।
request everybody, let's have a 100 round applause, please.
हाँ
Well, before we start the conference, मैं आप सबको बताना चाहूंगी about the safety instruction about this hall. यहाँ पर we have 3 emergency exit. सबसे पहला जो exit है वो मेरे right hand side की तरफ है, मेरे right hand side. Then the other one is the left hand side of my hand, and the last is at the console table. So यहाँ पर आप सभी के लिए 3 fire exit हैं, और इसी के साथ we shall start the international conference on refractories in iron and steel industry, Refis 4.0. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause before we begin this wonderful session, please?
यहाँ कॉर्पोरेट ऑफिस से आवाज सुन पा रहे हैं।
And for the lamp lighting ceremony, can I request Professor Rajiv Shekhar, Director of IIT ISM Dhanbad, to please kindly join us on stage for the lamp lighting ceremony. Let's have a huge round of applause for him, please. Also, we would request Shri B.K. Tiwari, ED Works, Sale, Bokaro Steel Plant, sir, to please kindly join us for the lamp lighting ceremony. Along with that, I would also request Shri Sanjay Kumar, President of IIM Bokaro Chapter and ED at the Sale Bokaro Steel Plant. Let's have a huge round of applause for him, please. Dr. L.K. Sharma, President of Indian Ceramic Society. Let's have a huge round of applause for him as well. Shri P.K. Rath, EDSRU, and Chairman of Refis 4.0 Conference. Let's have a huge round of applause for him, please. Shri V.P. Upadhyay, CGM at the Sale Bokaro Steel Plant and Vice Chairman of Refis 4.0 Conference. Let's have a huge round of applause, please.
शुभं करोति कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदा शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योति नमोऽस्तुते।
Can I request Shri K.K. Thakur, sir, to please kindly join us for the lamp lighting ceremony, please?
दिव्याला पाहून नमस्कार तिळाचे तेल कापसाची वार दिवा तेवे देवा काशी उजेड पडे विष्णू पाशी माझा नमस्कार सर्व देव देवतांपाशी ये ग लक्ष्मी बैस ग बाजे माझ शुभं करोति कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदा शत्रुबुद्धि विनाशाय दीपज्योति नमोस्तुते.
Can I request everybody, let's have a huge, huge round of applause, please. We would request all our respected guests to please kindly take your seats on the dais, please. On the dais, please, everyone. Well, if we talk about today's conference, we aim to bring together the iron and steel industry manufacturers of refractories, leading academic scientists and researchers and research scholars to exchange and share their own experience and research results on all aspects of refractories used in iron and steel industry. So with this, now I would request Shri P.K. Rath, EDSUR and Chairman of Refis 4.0 Conference to please kindly come on the dais and share his experience about today's event and welcome the
A very good morning to all of you. Before I start, our board of directors, including Chairman Madam, will be joining us shortly. The timing is at around 10 o'clock. And now we are just going to start our program. Respected Director IIT ISM Dhanbad, Sri Rajiv Shekhar, respected dignitaries on the dais, invited guests and delegates, and the participants of the technical session, ladies and gentlemen. I feel privileged to welcome you all to Bokaro Steel City on this international conference on refractories being organized by the advice and guidance of our esteemed Director in Charge, Sri Amrindu Prakash sir, by the Refractory Department of Bokaro Steel Plant and Steel Cell Refractory Unit, in collaboration with Indian Institute of Metals and Indian Ceramics, mark the occasion, the Golden Jubilee year of production of Bokaro Steel Plant. On 9th of September 1972, the process of production in Bokaro Steel Plant started with the oven pushing in battery number 4. And the journey started from there and it's continuing till now. And we have completed 50 years. So to commemorate this occasion, we felt that the burning topic and the burning issue before us is not the iron ore, not the coal, perhaps it's refractories which is going to pose a major challenge before us, because the management is well aware of the security of iron ore and coal, but perhaps people are not so serious about the security of refractories that we need if we think of 300 million ton of crude steel by the end of this decade, for which SAIL is poised to go for a very big modernization and expansion program. a few years ago, these refractories were being sourced from mostly from the Chinese vendors, and perhaps we were not feeling the hit. But after this Make in India policy came into being, and then the Atmanirbhar Bharat policy, it has made us think that the time has come to, and it's the wake up call. Days are gone when the steel industry used to procure mostly the silica and aluminum silicate refractories. But with the changing technology in the steel making processes, our requirement has shifted from this aluminum silicate refractories to mostly the magnesia based refractories, alumina carbon refractories, flow control refractories, plastic refractories, and so on. And whether people admit or not, but I know being a refractory man, we people lack the technological know-how to develop many of its products, and somehow we manage by tampering with the government's policy to a certain extent. So it is a platform where the ceramic engineers, the refractory experts will interact with each other and to see how we can overcome the crisis of the raw materials, its beneficiation, its processing, and then the manufacturing of different refractory products to meet the challenge of 300 million ton of crude steel production. And I am sure that this forum, when in the today's second half and tomorrow, these experts will deliberate and discuss, then definitely they will find a way forward. And that will be a guiding paper not only for sale but for the whole country, that what should be the refractory policy by the end of this decade. And that way, I know not only the country but SAIL in particular will become Atmanirbhar on refractories. Very best to the participants in this technical session, and hope definitely they will come up with some solutions which will enlighten us how we can encounter this crisis that is going to come in near future. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. With this, now can I request Shri Sandeep Stephen Lal to please kindly join us on stage. And now I would request Sandeep sir to please kindly hand over the shawl to Professor Rajiv Shekhar, Director of IIT ISM Dhanbad. Let's have a huge round of applause, please, everyone. Thank you so very much, sir. All right. So with this, now I would. Thank you so very much, sir. All right. So with this, moving further, now I would request the President of Indian Ceramic Society, Dr. L.K. Sharma, to please kindly share his thoughts for today's event.
Everybody, and first of all I would like to thank Refis all organizing team for having a dream for such kind of conference, which is the burning need of the day. And congratulations also. And our 2 days high profile chief guest, Professor Rajiv ji, and all other high profile dignitaries on the dais. I would like to say that suppose I am also very happy to be here. And when earlier we remember that when Bhilai steel plant was started, that the then Prime Minister of India said that Bhilai se shuru hui hamari yatra. That was the SAIL plant, and those days whoever was manufacturing refractories was successful in business, because whatever kind of refractories they were manufacturing was being utilized by the plants. And 1960s all this was there. Whoever has made the steel, that person was successful, or whoever has made steel utensils. But those days it was out of reach of general public. Now steel is available for everybody. And now all this, because now all this became possible because of refractories, means highly energy efficient production of refractories. Refractories quality has improved, and that steel plants also have worked lot of work on that energy efficiency, and it has reached to all common people of the country. Now we remember that when Y2K came, we were talking that changes were there, everybody was accepting changes. But in Y2K, when this thing that changes, speed has increased. And the people who accepted the changes, they have grown. And then the people who have not accepted, and that's why we call that those days that fittest will survive in the business. But now we can say that energy efficient person or organization, that will survive in the business. And for that, all that I say that this conference, all that planned because of all those regions. Changes are, we had, this was said that it is Atmanirbhar. So lot of people have started working on those kind of refractories required for this. People have started about thinking of energy efficiency, energy sources, and our Prime Minister also spoke about hydrogen. Now, lot of that PNG suppliers are trying to mix hydrogen into that PNG to improve the energy efficiency. So hence this conference will be definitely highly successful. And now as I talked that about energy efficiency, we at we through CGCRI have worked a lot for Khurja cluster. And for just an example in Khurja, that for 1 kg of crockery, those days dinner set, bone china dinner set used to be 10,000, 12,000 rupees in 80s. Now dinner set is 6,000 rupees. Raw material cost has gone up, energy cost has gone up, but that bone china dinner set cost has come down. All that is because of energy efficiency improvement. Those days that 10 for 1 kg of crockery, 10 kg of that refractory, now that has come down to 1 kg of crockery and 1 kg of refractory. That's why, that is because of all that, cost has gone down. Now still we are working on refractory only. Now that very soon refractory will play a major role to our kitchens. That whatever that LPG stoves, that will have the refractory all. And then suppose today that energy stove, our LPG stove efficiency is almost 30 to 35%. That will go up to 70 to 80% because of refractory, and we are working on that. Only thing is that for refractory, you can take challenge, or you can say our disappointment. Firozabad, biggest cluster of the glass, is suffering a lot. There is no improvement in refractory. It is still highly means energy consuming sector, and the refractory, which used to play a major role, consumption is almost 1,000 to 1,500 tons per month for refractory pots, and nobody has come forward. So it's a challenge, and we need to work on that. With this, I would like to wish all the organizers all the best, and this delegates, you will have great time here, great learning and all that. Thank you very much. With this, I am done. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. With this, next, I would like to invite of IIM Bokaro chapter and ED. Let's have a huge, huge round of applause for him, please.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Very good morning to all of you. Respected Chief Guest, Sri Raju Sekhar sir, all dignitaries on dais, इस सभागार में उपस्थित all EDs, CGMs, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार, आभार and जोहार. Being president of IIM Bokaro chapter, I welcome all of you for this 2 days conference of Indian refractory in steel industry. आज के डेट में किसी भी मेटल इंडस्ट्री और स्टील इंडस्ट्री के लिए रिफ्रैक्टरी एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है, जो हमारे प्रोडक्शन के कॉस्ट को डिसाइड करता है और हमारे क्वालिटी को डिटरमिन करता है. अच्छे रिफ्रैक्टरीज किसी भी स्टील प्लांट के लिए, यूज ऑफ गुड स्टील्स इन ए स्टील प्लांट इज अ लैंडमार्क ऑफ प्रोग्रेस and prosperity of that industry. हम लोग विदेशों पर डिपेंडेंट हैं रिफ्रैक्टरीज के लिए, लेकिन ये जो कॉन्फ्रेंस हम लोगों ने ऑर्गेनाइज किया है यहाँ पर, ये हम लोग को एक नई दिशा देगा, एक नए आयाम देगा, जो हम अपने आप को रिफ्रैक्टरी के मामला में आत्मनिर्भर और आत्मनिर्भर भारत की ओर एक नया कदम स्थापित करेंगे. 2 दिन का जो ये कॉन्फ्रेंस है, इसमें बहुत सारे पेपर प्रस्तुत किए जाएंगे, डिस्कशन होंगे और नए चीज़ों से एक दूसरे से हम अवगत होंगे, जो हमारे इंडस्ट्री के लिए, स्टील इंडस्ट्री नहीं, हमारे देश के लिए एक अच्छा प्रयास होगा, जो अच्छा पहल होगा। मैं आशा करता हूं कि ये 2 दिन का कॉन्फ्रेंस एक फलदायी होगा, उत्तम होगा, यादगार होगा और मैं विश करता हूं कि जो आयोजन हम लोगों ने यहाँ किया है, हमारे सेरामिक, इंडियन सेरामिक सोसाइटी ने किया है, IIM ने किया है, वो एक यादगार एंड सफल होगा। मैं आपके इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए, इस आपके यहाँ पर बोकारो में निवास के लिए ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं देता हूँ और विश्वास करता हूँ कि जब आप यहाँ से जाएंगे तो बहुत दिनों तक के बहुत अच्छे अच्छे यादगार लेके यहाँ जाएंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू वेरी मच। विश यू वेरी मच। थैंक यू।
Thank you so very much, sir. Well, with this, now I would request Shri B.K. Tiwari, ED Works, Sale Bokaro Steel Plant, to please kindly join us on the dais. Let's have a huge round of applause for him, please, everyone.
Thank you. Namaskar, Juhar, and a very warm good morning to all of you. Honorable guest of honor, Professor Rajiv Shekhar, Director IIT ISM Dhanbad, all dignitaries on the dais, senior executives of Bokaro Steel Plant, my friends from other steel plants, academic institutions, our stakeholders from refractory manufacturers, suppliers, delegates, participants, ladies and gentlemen present in this hall. Actually, it gives me immense pleasure and pride to be a part of the team which is hosting this August gathering. Frankly speaking, for a colony which is a steel city, such occasions are some special festivals. And thanks to all of you to let us enjoy these 2 days in the form of a festival. You will have a comfortable stay at Bokaro, and you will have some memorable moment during your stay. I think that it's not worth to explain the relevance of this seminar to this August gathering. Our country has an ambitious plan as far as growth in the steel sector is concerned. We are aiming for 300 million ton by 2030. We are also talking of 500 million ton by 2047. So that is the dream, that is the ambition which we have. But on the same time, it is a hard fact that this journey is not going to be so easy. We have experienced in recent past that geopolitical conditions or macroeconomics or different international scenarios are also playing a big role as far as performance of any industry is concerned. And steel industry has never been untouched with these developments. So as some of the speakers were telling, that independence, or I will say the dependence on foreign suppliers, foreign resources to operate our industry is not going to be a healthy sign if we want that we should cross this 300 million ton and 500 million ton ambitious targets. Unfortunately or unfortunately, developments in this field are not so fast in our country, and we are largely dependent for low end refractories. We are having supply from indigenous sources, and for most of our resources, we are still largely dependent on foreign suppliers. But every challenge has an opportunity, and we are happy that the government's initiative in the field of Atmanirbhar Bharat or Make in India has given an immense opportunity for our entrepreneurs, for our industrialists to grab this opportunity, to grow this industry, and to fulfill the requirement of steel operators of our country. And in this scenario, this seminar is going to be a very important, and whatever deliberations which are likely to take place in next 2 days will certainly be very fruitful for all of us, for steel plant operators, for our manufacturers, suppliers, and everybody else. So let us discuss and deliberate. As far as from the point of view of a steel plant operator, our focus always remains the cost of refractories, the life of refractory, because the life of our cycles and the life of our equipments is totally dependent on the quality and life of the refractories. It's a proven fact that with the development in refractory industry, the steel industry has been benefited immensely. So if we want that our cost of production should remain competitive in spite of various challenges which we are facing on the cost of input materials and energy, then refractory has to play a big role. If we are able to reduce the cycle time of maintenance of our equipments, it helps us a lot. So I am hopeful that during next 2 days, the various technological aspects related to refractory industry will be discussed. The focus on carbon footprint, artificial intelligence, or Internet of Things has an influence on all the industries, and refractory industry is not an exception to this also. On the same time, we have to also focus on the recycle and reuse of spent refractories. That is also going to be a big challenge. So with all this expectation, this seminar has been organized after a long gap, and let us enjoy it. I am hopeful कि इस हिमालय से कोई गंगा निकलेगी, ये जो मंथन हो रहा वहां से कुछ ना कुछ अमृत निकलेगा. With all these expectations, I wish a grand success to this conference. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. With this, now I would request the Director, IIT ISM Dhanbad, Professor Rajiv Shekhar, to please kindly join us on the dais and share his words for today's event.
Respected Shri P.K. Rajkumar ji, Shri B.K. Tiwari ji, Shri V.P. Upadhyay ji, dignitaries of the dais, officers of BSL, and esteemed delegates. It is indeed a privilege to address you on the occasion of Refis 4.0, and I'm sure, as other speakers have stated, it will be a vibrant conference, और मंथन होगा और अमृत जरूर निकलेगा. Now, today as I stand here, I am on a journey of nostalgia. I grew up in the coal mines of Jeetpur Chasnala, Dhanbad, which was in ISCO and now is a part of BSL. My father was Chief Executive Collieries of ISCO at that time. And I've been visiting this place since mid-1970s when BSL was coming up. I remember my uncle was Deputy Labour Commissioner. We stayed in, I think, type 1 houses opposite the Bokaro Park. It was a big thing those days, especially the toy train, which went through all those international stations, Tashkent, etc. And the Jheel was a very popular place and a restaurant. And later on, and two of my relatives, Mr. N.K. Prasad retired as GM Personnel, and Mr. B.P. Srivastav retired as GM Sales in BSL. And when I was a student of metallurgy at IIT Kanpur, I had come for training to BSL in the summer of 90 and 1981. It was an amazing experience. We had read about blast furnaces. And in books, you just see those schematic diagrams, the shape, aise. You read about the steel melting shop. But when I first saw the blast furnace, man, it was a beast. I mean, I had never seen anything like that. Then the visit to the steel melting shop, the fires emanating and talking of temperatures of 1500 degrees centigrade is something that is easy to read, but very difficult to visualize and more difficult to implement. Then I remembered the sintering plant. हम लोगों को तो सिर्फ पढ़ाया जाता था थ्योरी, वो डालो, फ्लक्स डालो, बाइंडर डालो और कन्वेयर बेल्ट में डाल दो. But it was truly amazing. Then we saw the hot rolling mill, cold rolling mill. And then when I was a faculty at IIT Kanpur, I came here and I remember when we were learning about continuous casting, उसमें ऐसे एक cylinder ऐसे घूम के आता था, दो sprays है. It looked so strange. I visited the Concast plant. But then, this was the good part. Professor, मैं थोड़ा ज़्यादा बोल देता हूँ. Please pardon me for that. Once while I was in Dhanbad, I was a student when I was in IIT Kanpur, then somebody told me, "Our metallurgy is history." It's like history. बहुत गुस्सा आया सुन के. I said, the man must be crazy. He must be confusing IIT with ITI, etc. But when I went for PhD to Berkeley, I understood why. In the courses, we were just said, ये shape होता है, ये function होता है. But we were never taught about the engineering part. How do you, so there is no hanging, no channeling, etc. There was nothing about it. In fact, that aspect of design in metallurgy was missing. For example, computational fluid dynamics played a major role. And all that design aspect came from chemical engineers such as Julian Zekeli, etc., who brought modeling. Then we could really see what was actually happening inside the blast furnace. And this is the point I want to dwell on right now. Now, but coming to refractories, the question simply is, I think traditional method of making refractories is very well known. It's not rocket science. And when you're talking of, and one of the things we have to talk about is what are the future developments. And obviously one goal would always be to increase quality. How do we reduce the thermal conductivity, increase the life, and reduce costs? But what else? What else do we need to do? Something really spectacular, something that would really help our economy. If we look at the manufacturing processes of refractories, it is not environmental friendly. And sustainability is a key issue these days. You have emission of particulate matter, SO2, NOx, CO, CO2, VOCs. How do we reduce them? And one idea, obviously, is the implementation of the circular economy where we start recycling the refractories. What would it do? Obviously, it's going to reduce the cost, the mining, the logistics, etc. would be down. This is an area where we need to work. The second important area, which is sort of the outside the domain of the conventional metallurgists or ceramicists who are involved in refractory making, is the remote monitoring of refractories for defects and residual life prediction. And how do you do it? Through a combination of sensors, image processing, and implementation of AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning techniques. This is going to be extremely important. And as Sharmaji pointed out, as he alluded to, that we also have to start thinking of value-added uses of refractories. In fact, refractories in India, in a way, is captive to the steel industry and to a lesser extent to the aluminum industry. But we need to think of value-added uses. I am not an expert, so I'm sure this point would be debated on in this. Now, when I was looking at the refractories market data, I saw that it was said that the refractories market is expected to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 3.4% by value. In the global market was worth $23.2 billion in 2020 and is expected to be 27 billion US dollars by 2025. What it simply means that we up the ante, we improve the quality, we figure out value added for quality Indian refractories. But as a producer, you always want to reduce costs. And as I was reading, and it was mentioned here, that 50% of the refractories in the pre-pandemic times was sourced from China. China to kahin chhodta nahi hai. Whenever you are talking of strategic metals such as rare earths, when you are talking of solar PV modules, when you are talking of active pharmaceutical ingredients and now refractories, China is there. And as far as so this is a threat. For example, for national security considerations also, we really need to work on this. Just in China, the way they monopolize the rare earth industry, they reduce the costs. Obviously, they didn't care about the environmental impact, etc. They drove most of the Western rare earth element producing companies out of the business. They monopolized it, and then they raised the cost, and now they can wring the arm of all the other countries. Thank God they are not such a big expert in chip making. So the question arises, especially since I am here in BSL, we know the role of refractory makers. What should be the role of SAIL? Will it restrict itself as a user, or will it also contribute to technology development in collaboration with refractory makers? And there is a larger question involved here. We talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat. Everybody says we also talk about being an aspiring superpower. But we all know that you can be a superpower only if you are a technology superpower. Without that, there is no way. Now, which means we need to have a technology vision. और हम लोग सबकी यही इच्छा है कि हम क्या ऐसा बनाएं जो कह सके कि दुनिया में पहली बार इसको भारत ने बनाया. So And in fact, there are quite a few challenges. And that is why we need to have a technology vision so that we can start working on those problems now, so that the next 5 to 10 years, when the technology becomes mature and is ready for commercialization, SAIL is there to offer its technology to the world. And there are sort of challenges. For example, when you're talking of blast furnace, we are lucky to have very high grade of iron ore. But like everything else, the good times have to end. How do we modify a technology when the ore grade decreases? And we are all talking about the hydrogen economy, वो आने वाला है. मैं blast furnace में हाइड्रोजन को कैसे यूज करूं? हाइड्रोजन को यूज करूंगा तो कोक की जरूरत नहीं है, कोक की जरूरत नहीं है तो फिर वो बर्डन को मैं सपोर्ट कैसे करूंगा? These are some very interesting issues that we are working on, and recently one of our faculty colleagues who did a PhD from IIT Bombay went to Finland for studying about the use of hydrogen in blast furnace. हमारे यहाँ क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? Then the other aspect is we are talking about 300 million tons of crude. Fine, I think that is necessary for the infrastructure development of the country. But what about value-added steel? You know, there is a competition between steel and aluminum in the auto industry. Aluminium is also coming in, and to counter, and its basic issue is high strength to weight, advantages high strength to weight ratios, which is very important for electric vehicles and also is being used in high-end cars. Now, there is this competition. To compete with aluminum, the steel industry is coming up with thinner.
Excuse me, sir. My board is waiting. Please cut short to speech, sir.
आप हमको बुलाए क्यों है सर?
Sorry, sir.
ओके, 2 मिनट में हो जाएगा. ओके, so the issue simply is there is a big challenge there. Now, what this warrants is an industry-academia interaction. Industry focuses on production. Academic institutes, unfortunately, focus on publications, not products. And if you remember, both of us depend on foreign sources. Production companies depend on foreign technology, and we depend on foreign journals for information and foreign companies for our research instrumentation. I think it is time we need to work together, and we have to decide whether we want to be Apple or whether we want to be one of those numerous Android mobiles. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, sir. And now it's the time that we get connected through Zoom video call with all our respected SAIL board members and respected chairman, Madam Ms. Soma Mondal. And to welcome them, can I request once again Shri P.K. Rath sir to please kindly join me on the dais, please.
Respected Chairman Madam, respected DIC sir, respected directors of SAIL and of SAIL board, I, on behalf of Bokaro Steel Plant Refractory Collective, welcome you all to this international conference on refractories. Already we have already started the program, and our respected dignitaries, they have deliberated upon this issue. Now, I request our Director in Charge, Sri Amrindu Prakash sir to take over the session to the boardroom. Thank you, sir.
Distinguished dignitaries present on the dais in Bokaro, members and delegates present in the auditorium at Bokaro, and my colleagues, fellow colleague directors on SAIL board. A very good morning. It is indeed a pleasure and my proud privilege to interact with everybody present in this seminar today. The importance of refractories to steel industry can be summed up in 3 words: quality, productivity, and cost. All 3 most important parameters for steel making have a huge dependence on refractories. In this context, Bokaro Steel Plant and Indian Institute of Metal Bokaro had the privilege of organizing this International Refractory Conference. I warmly welcome all the dignitaries and the delegates to this conference. With me today, unfortunately, I could not be present at Bokaro on this day because of a board meeting of SAIL board, but that also gave us the opportunity of assembling all the directors of SAIL board at one place. And you can realize the importance of refractories to SAIL and steel industry in general by the fact that all the directors were very keen to join this session. I'll just request each director to convey their wishes for the success of this conference. I invite Mr. V.S. Chakravarti, Director Commercial SAIL.
Dignitaries on the dais and all present of the dais, a very good morning to all of you. On behalf of SAIL, I wish a very interactive session in this particular conference on refractories, and the very fact that I understand there's a huge response for this conference, and a lot of people have assembled, and I wish a very productive conference today. I also would like to we had to intervene in between like this only because of the time constraint that we had. And once again, all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Chakravarti. I invite Mr. Atanu Bhaumik, Director in charge of Rourkela Steel Plant of SAIL.
Good morning, everybody. The dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, all delegates. It's really nice to see that people have assembled in Bokaro to deliberate on a very important topic, that is of refractories. Refractories are so very important to the steel industry in order to increase our productivity, cut our costs, and be competitive. It is important that we are able to work on improving our refractories, and cutting-edge technologies need to be found out so that we can really improve our performance. And I hope that during this seminar, you all will be able to brainstorm, deliberate, and exchange each other's experience, and from here on, improve the performance of refractories in the steel industry. Thank you and wish you all success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhaumik. I invite Mr. B.P. Singh, Director in charge of Durgapur Steel Plant and Burnpur Steel Plant.
Good morning to all delegates on the dais and off the dais, and all the participants from various steel plants, various technology suppliers. Very heartening to know that Bokaro Steel is conducting the workshop on refractories, and it is an international workshop. Refractory is a burning topic for steel industry. Steel industry, as far as the refractory is concerned, is important for productivity, increasing the productivity, reducing the cost, and also safety is an important factor whenever we talk about the participation of technology suppliers will add to the value of the workshop. And it is very important that at the end of the workshop, the participants come up with the actionable points so that in future we improve upon the performances of the refractories in our plants. My best wishes to all the participants and for the success of the seminar. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Now I invite Mr. A.K. Tulsiani, Director of Finance of SAIL.
Good morning, all. Refractory plays a major role in steel manufacturing. This is quite evident as we see that Director in charge, Bukaro, was telling us that there are almost 400 delegates for this conference. It is really heartening that we all want to get together and try to bring about efficiency in steel manufacturing. Refractory plays a very major role as far as the cost is also concerned. So I feel that a good interaction out here will help in bringing out more efficiencies and reduce the cost of production of steel also. I wish the conference all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tulsiani. My proud privilege to invite Mr. K.K. Singh, Director Personnel of SAIL.
Good morning, everybody. Most respected dignitaries on the dais, all the participants to the seminar, and organizers of the seminar. We are really very happy that some learning and development activity is taking place, and it's my privilege to be briefly part of this. We can understand what must be happening at Bokaro. We are not able to feel it here, though we are connected through VC, but there a lot of activities must be going on, and I must compliment the organizers for organizing on such a good topic, which is there for the steel industry. This conference they have organized, and why I love